All right, all right, all right. I am live for this non-farm event. I have switched over to micros for the day, making sure that everything lines up. Micro here, micro there, micro everywhere. I think realistically, we're kind of creeping up into the number 18,839.50 seems to be a good area for price to want to either be above or below 18,830 even really is kind of like the number to look at. So if you're going to get an initial snap, watch for it to snap initially and then go and see what happens. Watch this order book. You can see we are 3 minutes out and you could already start to see a thinning of the bids, right? You can see it's very choppy, it's starting to bounce a bit. The plan would have to be for you to see price give a direction. We could retest 839.50 and then sell off back down to 700. I talked about that 700 number yesterday. I actually talked about it to Ray with in the text message. I said if we break down this consolidation between 1839, this 18,839 number, that we would probably sell off into 18,700. If you could see it here, right? This here, maybe we wick it and then sell. You can see how thin it's getting. This is very difficult. If you're actually trading this order on a real book, you're going to have a very difficult time getting filled at any of these prices. Some big size just filled at 800. So that's also good to note. Weird that it would get in front of the non-farm or they're getting out. So you don't know if they're getting in or out on the order book. You just know that orders are being had. They are being had. I'm going to set in a micro order. Up over this red line, could snap to that blue line kind of quickly. So I would be quick if you are in or have an idea. You can see, look at how wide the spreads are. Crazy wide right before the number release. You don't want to be able to enter right this second. You won't be able to get something filled very quickly. So this is all going to be an algo spike driven event. Unemployment and non-farm are the drivers right here. You sweep below this low here, watch for the longs to come back in. But 700 gonna be a very key spot. You guys see how wide these are. 3 points, 4 points, 5 points in the width. Initial reaction of ES is sell side right before this comes out. Looks like they're positioning for a negative. Look at that.
Markets are closed.
I don't know who said that, but I'm gonna stop by too. Oh, I missed
Markets
it.
are open.
That's weird. Don't know what the number was, but S&P's is absolutely crushing. So we'll buy two up here if it does crack through that level. Overnight highs. 142 as opposed to 120. Nah. Look at that. Look at that S&P right to overnight highs. It's not actually that crazy right now. You can also see the order book is pretty thin. Maybe you revert this. The numbers definitely came out. Actual is 142. Previous was 89 because they revised down. 160 was expected. 4.2% as unemployment. Same thing with unemployment the other direction. So nothing crazy going on here with the numbers. Kind of anticipatory numbers. Slightly bigger. That went from 800 to 900 in 1 second. 839.50, like I said, could get wicked and then rotate off of that, or 700 could get wicked and rotate off of that. So you could see the two opposite ends. NQ This thing went down and then up. Usually that initial move gets canceled quickly and then rotates the other way. You could have really tried to see how much without slippage you were going to get there. See if the S&P fails this level, could potentially rotate to the downside. I think that there is room to the downside from 700 down to 544. So we could get a continuation type day today, potentially. Yeah, that's not really a very tradable event. It's almost uncatchable because you would have slipped so much that you would have had to get a perfect order. You could see if this is going to crack this high of this 63, catch some momentum on it. Yeah, nothing that I really want to touch right now. It is playing with that previous day low. Very interesting print. So we are going to have a very wide non-farm candle to kind of work off of today. And it's basically overnight high to overnight low, right? So if we do decide to pick a direction, start to trend on the day, we could try and make a decision on where we want to end up. My thought is that's a weak number. Unemployment at 4.2% is basically just a slight tick down, but and it was kind of expected. They were expecting 160,000 jobs. They got 142,000. They are starting to stack the bids up, starting to get a little more comfortable. So you can see how long after that release. We're 4 minutes after the release, and you can start to see the releases go. Some bigger size got filled at 847 on the ask, 847. So they got filled up here for sell. 100 contracts, pretty decent size for that to be getting filled. This is micro, so that is a little bit bigger than, it's more like 10 contracts in the NQ. Yeah, this is probably going to start to creep on up. We'll watch this overnight high or where it gets created come market open. Usually this number is that whippy reaction. That's just all you're going to get. VWAP is right here, right? This is just like not very interesting for me to want to trade. Yes, it's a 100-point range here from 920. Actually, it's a 200-point range from 920 to 720. So a 200-point range that we have to deal with for this session. S&P's wicked overnight highs right to that 715 open and then pulled right off of that. This does seem like it wants to try and accept into yesterday's range with the low of the day of yesterday. I do believe that we could remain bullish throughout the day and kind of get trendy, but that's just a thought on it. Nothing like I could perfectly call out, right? You'd have to risk all the way down to 700. That's 200 something points away. 826. $18,900. Playing with that level there. We did make a little bit of money yesterday. 553 on this combine, so we're just shy of 1,000 on that one. On that combine, looking to pass that to get another XFA. NVIDIA straight up to 107.71, that same number we were playing with yesterday for our reaction. So could see a reaction here for this because of NVIDIA in the pre-market session. That could easily be a good sweep of the low, find some liquidity at 700 and rotate us all the way back up to highs of the week. We can see we could break through 155 to the upside. 155 to the upside. Basically, yesterday's high, 153.50. There's not really an edge in this trading, right? I said you could have probably take the long through the high of this candle here, this consolidation point. It's just not something I want to be trading, right? How many points is this? This is 72 points. 290 something ticks, 300 ticks there. Very interesting. I'm going to be monitoring it. Going to see where we end up come market open in about an hour. I'm going to let this ride. Leave the stream running for you guys. If you have any questions, just type it in the chat. I will be back here around like 8:15 after I drop off my son to school. So we will be back in action. This could just cancel out here at 900 and start to rotate back down. Like I said, I think that number was negative. So you could just remain within this 200 point range. You know, it's a very wide range for a number. So, you know, this is the zone that we're looking for to find a way out of. Could it just rotate back down to the bottom of this, flush it, and then bounce back? That would be something that I would want to see. You know, maybe we get a nice flush of that, and then we could see how far we could take it back to the upside. Or you breach here, you come back, and then you run that way based on the number, based on participation. I would anticipate this sell side there came right there from 900 down to 880. But all right, got to bring him to school. I'll be back in a little bit. Hang tight, and I will see you then. I'll leave the charts running, all right?
Smells so good. You're gonna go live like that?
Oh, I'm on it.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh? Yes.
All right, we're ready to go. We're back. We're back from dropping the son off at school. And I need to see if I can see my mouse. There we go. Crazy. Gotta let my ears down today.
How you gonna drink it? Can you even stay with that thing?
I can.
Are you really gonna stay with that?
Yep.
They're not gonna tell you anything out there. Why is your ear not staying?
I don't know. My ears are messed up. Thank you to my lovely assistant for fixing my ears.
Are you late?
Yep. I told you I've been live this entire time.
You're funny.
Since before I left.
Maximus. Maximus, come see Daddy quick. Fabina. Ariel.
Hey, Max.
That is funny.
Oh gosh, spilling my espresso because I can't see. Can I get a napkin in here? I got one. Like a bull in a china shop in this thing. Nope, that's not gonna work. Darn.
let's see what we got going on here today. Let's see if we can get a breakout above. And failures, let's see. I'm leaving this as the overnight high. Pre-market highs here. Looks like we're creating some wedging. I guess this is what I was trying to do. My speaker. Bull mask in full form. Let's go. Fun Friday here. Fun Friday, baby. Let's get it. Can you guys hear me at least? A little bit echoed, I would guess. 5 minutes till open here. The only thing that's going to get this bull mask off is get me some coffee. Spilled a little bit already. I tried to drink. It didn't work. Guys, yum, 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 yum. Yeah, when I do. Whoa, 3 people popped out. Bye. I could see. Yeah, I could see. It's not easy. I got to turn my head a couple ways. But, you know. Sweet. That's good. I'm glad. We're going to have some fun in this stream now. Because I don't give a goddamn shit. I want to see what happens with this non-farm. But, you know, this is that non-farm number right here. It's going to be hard for you to take me serious. But it's going to happen. I'm having a good day. It's cool the mouth opens, but it's hard to get it to go. Non-farm was a 200-point swing here. That's that non-farm zone there. Could recover the whole thing, which is what I want to see potentially. It was a negative number. We did creep up. We didn't really explode out of it. So we got 2 minutes here. I wouldn't mind a snap up and then take this short through there. I am taking micros. Let's see. 3 micros. Micro. We're good. The bull mask going to take the bearish play on this one, possibly. One minute till open here. It is Friday. Don't do dumb shit. Get yourself ready to go on today's wonderful session. Lead you into the weekend like a bull, baby. Let's see where this first candle ends up. This little zone I drew up here, I think it's going to be somewhat reactive. Could cause some interesting behavior here, probably down into this part, right into there. I mean, there were more touches up here, but I think that that's realistically a good spot for there to be reaction. I'm going to delete it because I don't like having too many shit on my chart. And now we're open. Let's see what happens today. Going to be quick with a sell if it goes breaking through. Above this white line could rotate us back to 155. Welcome to the Bull channel today. We took over the Policing Pips channel. It's all about the Bulls today, baby. But I want to see this thing flush, so who knows? Bulls, Bears, who cares? Over this white line, bullish. Below this level here, bearish. I am going to trade micros today. Get myself back into a little rhythm in this XFA. We did secure a little bit on this combine here. We're just shy of, just over $1,000 to target. I want to see if this happens here. See how long I last in this mask. I think a sweep of this area does indicate bullishness. Long-term chart-wise, we swept through 839 a few times. Maybe we can come back and test it again one more time during market hours and then start to rotate higher. So longs from lower. So I want to capture that short to try and see if they'll sweep some of this and then see if that long will come in somewhere around here, around that 820.
Order filled.
There's that nice little flush there. Got to break even on it. See if we can get down to VWAP. I'll take off one here. Power of micros. I got 3 micros on here. Yeah, right there is good. I'm cool with going even on that because that could be a sweep rejection. Made ourselves $15 on that. It's all right. But I don't want to be popping back up over into that level there. Probably should have took that little base knock there for that first contract off. Can I get another pop above that level? It would be nice. NVIDIA caught a little bit of a bounce from the VWAP there. I'll get Microsoft up. Microsoft creeping up at 409, trying to hold 408. Could get a break retest on this, maybe get a wick above up into 940 and then sell that again. This is that original overnight high. Obviously, the real true overnight high, pre-market high is right before market open here. So let's see if we get anything out of that. Looks like S&P's held that high and looks like it's rotating up. So watch for bullishness over this white line here. And then anything underneath here, I'll sell again. NVIDIA ran up to 107.70. Short again. Let's see what happens here. If it can't get back up over this, then it's should roll over some, hopefully. If not, we're going to go and get ourselves out of this if we breach up and close above 40. If we can break through this low again, I'll get to even. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Let's get this thing going. Nice little short there again from that high. Could secure about 200 on this. Power of 3 micros there. Could let it breathe a little bit more. There we go. Come on down, baby. Come on down. Come on down for the bull. Let's go, baby. Come on now. Shorten that shit with the bull mask on. A bear in a bull costume. That's what we got going on here. Already secured about 200 plus. See how low we could go. If we can get some off down lower, I'll be a very happy camper today. Let one runner run. I think we could sweep down into this 80s. So I want to let that thing ride a little bit. Ride or die, baby. Let's get that micro money. Get that micro money. Get that micro money. Woo! Show me the money. Gonna let that VWAP breathe just a touch until I can see if we could get the breach of this overnight high in the S&Ps. I could get down to business. All right, we're gonna get to VWAP now. That's good for me. This is a good recovery day. Switching back to micros. If I get stopped out here, cool. I really do appreciate the bull mask coming in and making me some money today. Gotta love the bull mask making money. Hot damn. Bullish on caffeination, bullish on bearish news. Negative NFP number came out, giving us that good melt. Let's see, do we take off another 150 or let it ride? I'm going to let it go with this stop where it's at. 820 is probably a good area to take one off. This is the type of day where people try to get long, and shorts just melt off. So could be safe here for a bit. If 800 breaks, then we will see very nice deep pullback. I'm just going to the base of that spike. maybe even right here to take that first one off, that second contract off, and then let that one runner run. Solid 3 contract, 3 micros. I was going to take it with a full mini, but, you know, got to get back into the rhythm, and this is how you do it. It's got to sweep through that 800. If you like the bowl, give it a thumbs up. You know, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff here. I'll keep rocking the bull mask here daily if we could get some more money out of them. I tricked the market into thinking I was bullish, and then I dropped a short on them. Just, you know, that's how I got it. You got to play mind games with the market. So if you can't win the market mind game, trick it into being bullish and then short it, right? Yeah, I tricked the market into thinking I'm going to go long, and I popped a short in. That's what I did. I can imagine it being hard to hear. It's hard to see. It's hard to breathe. We filled on our second contract. We've secured $400, and now we have a runner with the stop at VWAP that will trail for however long I can get it to go, baby. This is a moneymaker day. This is the day where money gets made. This is an arbitrary take profit. It just populates automatically. Don't let it fool you. I'll even pop it down here. I'll take that whole win. That's that non-farm start. So we have, this is the open of that non-farm print. So just be cautious around here. This could be an area where people are taking profits. The base of the non-farm print. This is where people would like to go long. I want to see what happens here a little bit. NVIDIA swept the low. Microsoft's still selling. I think we're still okay. Could get stopped out at VWAP. It's okay with me. I'm just going to let this, you know, do its thing a little bit. Maybe I leave my stop at even and see how far we can run it. Do we think we get all the way back through high of the day? We've secured another, you know, we made $600 on the day here with this move. Yeah, I'll just stay over VWAP. Whatever happens around VWAP happens. Come down, retest, rotate lower. Sometimes you got to fool the markets. Sometimes you got to make them think that you're going to do one thing and then the other thing happens. Get in there. Do what you got to do to make money. Put a bull on. Try to rock the bull. I am live on Twitch now as well. So if you are a Twitch member, I will share my Twitch stream with you. This is going to be my cool Twitch persona. I don't know how to work this shit. Let's see. How do I get to the Twitch share fucking thing? Invite guest? Nope. All right, we're out flat. Very good. Bullish on this trade. 555.56. The power of 3 micros compels you. So we take out one of our losing days with a solid winner. I am going to probably lock this account out. This is a Friday, non-farm Friday, so not doing dumb shit. We're going to go ahead and lock out this XFA, and we're going to work it back tomorrow or Monday. So building good habits, locking out the XFA. I'll switch over to this combine and see if we can pass it with the bull mask today. Let's get it going. I think downside pressure makes sense. I think that this area where there was interest was the base of the non-farm number. This was where that non-farm, so we really bounced right off of where we were at right pre-number. So kind of cleaned up that first little bit. If it wants to go down further, it needs to sweep this low. Otherwise, I don't believe, I was talking about pre-market, sorry, I was talking about before the market opened, a sweep down into this area here could lead to pushing up to highs, because that was the play for the longer term chart. Sorry, I'm trying to make a clearer voice for you so you could hear what I'm having to say about this more important thing. me get the Microsoft is bullish right now. NQ1 this way. NQ1. So, like I said, that low of 18,700 here. That's really going to be the ultimate support, I believe, if that non-farm number wasn't going to cancel out. If we push down into that number here, I would expect a rotation back above 839. A hold, if this 30-minute candle, this hourly candle, closes above 839, watch out. See if this bullish behavior continues and pushes us back over 979, which is that white line I have on the other chart. So if you get over 979, watch for 155 and probably beyond if it catches momentum. Uh-oh. Oh, damn. Okay, good. The bull is a little reckless. The bull is reckless. Hitting the wrong buttons, potentially trying to enter and exit positions. Let me try and find this Twitch thing. How do I add? I gotta find out how the Twitch thing works. I think this is it here. This is it here. We'll go here with the Twitch stream. So if you are a Twitch person, go over there, follow me. I'm trying to figure out all the platforms. I'm going to need to do a good job of maybe clipping that up. That's a really good piece of content there. I'm not a great content creator, but that I feel like trapping the market for a long, wearing the bull mask, and then dropping the short on them was really the play there. Now it knows that I'm wearing the bull mask and I'm a bear, so it's going to just try to pop up. Let's see if it does the cancellation effect. What are you guys watching? Anybody in any positions? Any wins? Any losses? Did you trade non-farm? What goes on here? Did you take that short that we were talking about right there at the overnight highs? Could have doubled down. That first breakdown, I definitely saw that retest coming back. So I said if we did not breach above that 850-ish area, we should be good for the short, and the strategy worked. Overnight high basically back down to VWAP and into that non-farm base of the spike. So good to watch. Good to see there. I'm just seeing how I sound. How I sound. Check, check. All right, it works. A little hard to hear, but a little hard to see. See if this flush comes to the VWAP again. You got to watch S&Ps. You got to watch NVIDIA. You got to watch Microsoft. They have been our leaders, so take it with what you will. Microsoft pushing higher into that 410. We are up $5.55 and 56 cents on 3 micros. Really good, clean move there. Got stopped out. I was considering taking, I had one contract left, so I was going to either leave it at break even or just take the money at VWAP. Taking the money at VWAP is fine with me because this could easily rotate and run back the high side. If we make a higher low here coming into this level, watch out for this zone to be a higher low retest and another bounce. Otherwise, you know, maybe that higher low comes in around into this area here, and then you get the bounce maybe from that level there. So pushing into 18,000 again. See if 18,000 holds up. See what kind of support you get there, and then see if it rotates back the other direction or not. This is a very crude trend line. I think realistically, we need to hold 18,000 if it's going to make that higher low and then bounce. Otherwise, watch for the flush. Microsoft at 409.86. Nvidia's selling off now through 106. It's hard for me to see numbers in this thing. I gotta figure out how to clip that video because that was good stuff. Good short. Popped the bull mask on. Was patient. Did not trade the non-farm, even though it was a 200-point swing. It was really not tradable. Never really made it 2 levels unless you traded my old my red line to my blue line there. I don't know what I just clicked. Like I said, bull in a China shop here. This account is locked out. I did lock out. The Top Step X platform allows you to lock out. I locked out on my losses the last 2 days, and now I'm locking out on my winner here. Being done on a non-farm Friday at 8:45. Can't beat that, right? Go out and enjoy yourself. If you are on the stream, go enjoy yourself. If you've made money today, there's going to be opportunities. So if you do want to stick around, that's cool. But if you did go up, or if you're grinding out a battle, keep up the good fight. Watch for this higher low. If this does become a higher low here, watch for that rotation back through 79. 79 will be the bullish point where I start to see, 79 through 900, where we would start to rotate back towards highs. It needs to kind of hold this area, though, that initial non-farm news candle, the base of that candle there. So holding right where we started there. If this does breach and come down through this low, watch for that sweep of the low. We will try to maybe rotate off that high, off of this low down up to highs, that 700 number. Ray, I see you lingering. What do you think of the bull? I don't know where my phone's at to conversate with you. I saw that you just came in. It is a little warm in here. It's warm in these. It's hot in these rhinos. It's a little hot in these rhinos. It's hot in these rhinos. But I tricked the market, Ray. I tricked them. What up, Joby? I tricked the market into thinking that I was going to go long. I popped the bull mask on. at the highs. I said, we're tricking the market. You got to do what you got to do. I'm streaming, so they're watching me. So they think, hey, he's going to fade the high. He's going to go long. He's wearing his bull mask. No, you drop the short on him when you're wearing the bull mask. It's a bear in a bull mask. That's what happens, baby. So you made money. You made $200 from your oops. It's because you had a take profit at 19,000 that you never removed. It wasn't a bracket order? Or you had a take profit that front ran that 19,000? I'd take it because that's a good short. Welcome to Bullish Friday here. I'm your host with the most, the bull on caffeination here. DayTradingCoffeeCompany.com, DayTradingCoffeeCo.com. Get all your coffee needs. It's always bullish on caffeination. And also tricking the markets into believing that you're a bull. Hey, that's why I don't like to go to sleep with orders on. Be it like a runner or anything. I never know. If I'm going to be in a position or have a position running or something like that, I got to manage it. So for me to leave something on or open, maybe potentially accidentally left a limit order out there or something like that, then that's kind of what gets me annoyed sometimes. Oh, my mask is riding up on me. Hold on. Gotta fix that. All right. Back in business. Fix my. This mask is ridiculous, but it works. I was thinking of creating a whole new channel just for the bowl, but I think him making appearances on my stream is pretty good. Get your short squeeze espresso out there, and there's no way to drink it through this mask. So I got espresso that I can't touch. I need a straw. Like I said, up 555. We were short here twice. I got short the initial break. Then I got short again here on the actual true break. Was able to take out $30 off that first little short. I was up about 100 and change. Was going to take one contract off, but decided not to. Got to even, and it just came back, stabbed me out, which is fine. I'm cool with that. Saw the reentry. The criteria was still met for the short position to rotate us back to VWAP and beyond. Took one contract off just above VWAP. Took one contract off just below VWAP. Let one runner have that stop at VWAP. We're kind of now lingering in that area where we could have held a little longer, maybe left it at even, but this was a good area where I said we could probably get bid up from the low of that area. So just something to keep in mind. NVIDIA still looks very heavy. Microsoft still looks very heavy. Microsoft's middle of the range, more like between 408 and 406, but pushing down towards 406. So more lows could come in. We did lock out this account. We took our good trade. We're building it back with micros. To make 555 on 3 micros, yes, on one contract, I could have, I would have been aggressive on the trail. Maybe I would have got stopped out a little sooner, but probably got as much as I would have if I would have trailed this out with a full mini, because it's more difficult to trail that full mini, right? You can see all my ineligible combines there. But I have this one here, which is just shy of $1,000 from passing. If you guys like the bull, let me know. I'll pop them out more often. We can manipulate the markets a little bit with our image, trick them into thinking that I'm going to be short and go long. If you are interested in watching me on Twitch, if you have a Twitch account, and that seems like something that people like to do, I did create a Twitch account. So if you wanted to go over there, click that link that I posted. Just follow me. It's not like it's as interactive as it is. I love my Tradecaster family over here. Very, very happy to be here on Tradecaster every single day. If you're on YouTube or on the Twitch stream, then I would like you to go over to tradecaster.com, create a membership, and if you are looking to get any of the memberships, my username at Policing Pips, just Policing Pips, no at Policing Pips, will get you 10% off all memberships. I think Deck's doing a 30% off right now as well, so it's a good time to get a membership over at tradecaster.com. The bull is sitting up today, 555.56 on my funded account. So real money being executed on that trade, wearing a mask. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. It's nice, clean breakdown from that area, right? Could have made it where this was a little bit more precise and was with the wicks, right? And that's your actual true breakdown point from this area right here. Right, that was a good clean move. Another leg to the downside. I am going to look to go long off the sweep, but this sweep could be very deep. So it could get into this area here. If it does want to accept lower, I talked to Ray last night. I shot Ray a text. I was talking to him about how if we do break down, let me go over to my longer term chart. If people don't believe me, you could ask Ray. Say, hey, Ray, did he actually text you this? Absolutely. I said, we will look to break this consolidation. This is a leg down consolidation here. Failed break above. Found that resistance again at 155. Any sort of break at this level here would lead to some short opportunities, right? This right here, this level here definitely leads to some short opportunities. Oh my God, I got a straw. Magic straw.
You want another one for your coffee?
I'll get my coffee in a minute.
Coffee? You want another one for your coffee?
Nah. All right, so watch this level. Watch this 700 level. Could push us down into 544 if we do get frisky. Fridays tend to trend. Bad non-farm number. Trap all those longs. Watch the short idea. This idea here makes a lot of sense. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, all that fun stuff over that, what you call it, that fun stuff, clicking it, liking it, subscribing it, share it with your friends, your family, anybody you think is going to enjoy trading. You can see that nice little touch off on that overnight low. I said 700 is going to be that support area for this to kind of rotate back up to 839. If you hold over 839, it's basically any hold below the yellow line rotates us down. Any hold above the red line should rotate us back up. And then above 79 is really that key for price to start curling back and pushing the other direction. So develop a thesis and work out off that. This is a XFA. You can see it's gold. Top left corner is gold. It's a funded account. We are up 555 today. We've been down the last 2 days, but we made back our loss from yesterday and then a little bit. So, just one step at a time, building back out. Power of micros. That was 3 micros on that trade there. So NASDAQ, micro NASDAQ it's totally possible to make good money trading micros on a daily basis. Yeah, 700 definitely is going to be a good area to watch. I think if we could sweep this, it's going to be even more interesting. I think something along the lines of you get through it, maybe try to poke your head above it, either make a lower low, or just kind of consolidate here. You get something like that at the low. I think that rotates us back up to that direction. And then potentially even beyond that, right? This is a negative non-farm number. It does kind of like play into both sides of the rate cut argument. Unemployment was better than expected, 4.2%. So this could just hold right here, right? There is a chance we swept this low here. You could just hold this overnight low and shoot straight up. All right. The bull was excited. It was getting a little frisky when it was short. I can't help what the bull does. It gets a little exciting. He does what he wants. Ears out, horns out. See what happens. Maybe I'll create a bull trades team bull. I know it exists. I'm just kidding. Rocking and rolling, baby. Where's Deck when you need him? Come on in, join the party. Everybody's happy here to be making money on a Friday, a non-farm Friday. If you made money already today and you don't see any opportunities coming in, secure your money, lock yourself out, enjoy your weekend. look forward to Monday. Oh, thanks, Abby. That's what I was going for. I was going for Q for sure. I appreciate it. Didn't see you at the non-farm open. I was not bullish on that non-farm. So I tricked the market into wearing, thinking I was going to go long up here, trapped them short, and I grabbed my short for that move there. Nice, clean move. Let's see if we can show our executions today. I locked myself out. I was all done. Took a short here, got out even, took another short there, and then trailed out as we moved to the downside. One here, and then stopped out right there on that candle at VWAP. So overall, very happy to trade 3 micros. Trapping the longs with the bull mask. It's all good if you don't, you're still in practice mode. You're still not in the combines. You're still not in the funded account stage. So, if you miss a few things here and there, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes also you need to just get started later, and that's fine. That's part of the game. Just got to get into it and, see if there is going to be an opportunity, right? There is probably going to be a rotation at some point here to try and rotate back to highs. I don't know if I anticipate a really heavy sweep of the lows because we still have some unrelenting strength in this market. So I do think that if NVIDIA starts to catch a bid over 105, if Microsoft could creep up a little bit, then we can start to see the NQ curl more. I think if Microsoft pulls back to 406, that might be your last leg down here. This is just a random number here. Like I said, with I think Jofi said it, or no, Zuka-san said it. He's got a support line here as well. Watch that area for the flush. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to get up earlier. I did that today to kind of get myself stepped up in the right direction. It seems like it worked. Came in, didn't trade non-farm, didn't take any chances on it, but just observed price action, saw the numbers, saw what happened, what kind of algos were participating, how long it took them to dissipate. I was tempted to take a couple shots, but it was not worth the risk. The order book was so thin, it wasn't worth taking the slippage to try and make a little bit. So we just waited till the open to get ourselves a good opportunity, which we did. Yeah, I'm not a news trader anymore. I learned my lesson the hard way a few times. And in real markets, real money stuff, and it just slips you too much. There's not enough liquidity in those things. So it's cool to see the YouTube highlights of people making buku money on those news events, but it doesn't show you the 10 times that they do it and they lose money on it. So just be cautious. Don't do dumb shit. Don't trade the news if you don't have a strategy that's perfectly aligned with what's going on. Right, if your fundamental analysis is telling you to go long off of key structure levels and it kind of dips into that area, it's a good indication that it probably will work. However, if you don't have any of that confluence, there's no reason to work off that that non-farm number or anything like that. It's quite warm in this. It's 9:08. We've been open for about a half hour here. I would like to see, like I said, that sweep of this low. This could lead to a really deep sweep. I wouldn't even be surprised if it pushed all the way down into that 600 low area just to kind of trap us and then start to rotate back to the high side. That was a clean move there too for the continuation, right? If you were just playing this, waiting for it to break down, then you could come in and trail out to that low. That's a really good rotation from overnight high to overnight low. Just like yesterday, same deal, overnight high to overnight low. It's just kind of a consistent strategy that works time and time again, right? We're successfully being able to deploy this strategy and make it work out for us. So overall, very happy with kind of just sticking to it, making little tweaks here and there, and just going along the journey. It is hard to breathe in this thing. It is hot in these rhinos. As always, bullish on caffeination. The caffeine bull is out in full force today. All right. I'm not going to trick the market again. I'm going to tell them I'm going bearish. I'll be right back here.
All right, that was a good run. The bull did what it needed to do today. Now I got to readjust my eyes. All right, we're back. We're back. Time to take it off. Time to refocus in. That was difficult to trade in, but it worked. I mean, I managed that position exactly how I wanted to manage it. We had a little bit of fun. It was uncomfortable, but it's worth the pain. I just needed this coffee too much to keep it on. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just impossible to get the coffee through that mask. I would have kept it on for a little longer, but look at that. They saw the bear pop out of the bull mask, and now we're getting more bearish. Like I mentioned, I'm locked out on this XFA. I caught the opportunity that I want to catch every single day. Like, that's literally the trade. If I could catch that trade every single day, obviously it's not going to work every day. But if it works 75% of the days, 80% of the days, I'm not going to be very disappointed in one or two trades being able to secure 555 across whatever accounts I have, right? To build this thing back from down a little bit, couple losing days, come out and pull out a solid Friday here with 3 micros only. I just traded 3 micros on that trade there, so going to be able to scale out of positions a little bit better with these micros, and then as I see fit, I'll just add a couple. As we start to get into a good rhythm, good hot streak, starting to see the markets well enough, we were able to let this trade breathe a little bit better with that smaller size, which allowed this position to play out. So just making the adjustment that I wanted to make yesterday, that I told myself I would make today. Not that I wanted to do that. I wanted to shoot my shot with the mini one more time. Then I made the adjustment, told myself in my little performance stats area, right? We took 2 losing days in a row, back to back. I noted, I stuck to my levels, all that stuff. And then yesterday I noted I'm going to switch to minis, micros, right? Let's see. Scale down and widen stop slightly to build out of drawdown. So having this little journal feature as well helps a lot. You can go into your performance center. You can see, what kind of, trades where your P&L went for the day, how your trades were acting, all that stuff. What trades you did take, all that fun stuff. And you could journal each trade if you really wanted to, right? You could add a journal for that trade specifically, saying maybe what setup you used and all of that. I usually just type in the daily journal, what I did potentially, and then what adjustments I want to make for tomorrow. This was great. Like I said, got wicked in and out of my entries. Could have been profitable, but I didn't. I'm going to scale down tomorrow and widen my stops to build out of drawdown. Today, 555. We made that adjustment, right? The first trade we took, we made $30. Then we were able to secure a couple really nice, like I peeled off those 3 contracts, right? Peeled off 1, 2, 3, and took the money and ran, right? So then we locked out. But make those adjustments. Talk to yourself, set your journal up to where you can understand what you're typing. It doesn't need to be crazy long, extended, big journals. It could be just saying how you felt for the day, what you're feeling, how that led to your trading opportunities, right? I'm going to have to figure out how to cut that video so I can save the bowl. I want to see what that looked like on camera. Let's see. I'm going to rewind.
Nvidia ran up to 107.70. Short again. Let's see what happens here.
That's hilarious. I don't know what's better, this face or the bull face, but we trapped the markets really well with that mask. It worked out. Like I said, I was saying we were pretending to be bullish here with that mask, and then we pop in that bear. Came a knocking. Overall, like I said, it was good to come on for non-farm. I just like kind of Abby said, getting up a little earlier, trying to do things. I gotta bring my when his school year is around, I bring my son to school, so it gets me a little bit off of what my summertime routine was with getting up, getting some air, going out, doing some stuff, and coming back. Yeah, I didn't like the short there. It does go quick off this level. This is a very reactive level. That 700 could get front run. I have not done enough tape reading on the micros to see what's actually like significant size on the books, right? Because 10 contracts equals 1 mini. So if people are loading in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even 100, that's only 10 contracts in the minis, right? So I'm watching the time and sales to kind of see a little bit better of what maybe I'm going to be looking at here as far as maybe manipulation is concerned, or any sort of movement within bigger size. I appreciate everybody coming by every day this week. It's been a nice week for sure, of up and down a little bit, but I busted out the bull mask for the Friday to kind of get us back into the rhythm, trading those micros, being up 555 on a Friday, non-farm Friday. It's a good day to kind of just secure your money and move. Yeah, I appreciate it, Jovi. I know you're always here whenever you can be. It's cool. I know you got everybody's got a life. Everybody's got things to do. I also, try my best to be on here every day, to be consistent for, the streaming purposes, and just giving you guys the opportunity to, if you do actually like enjoy coming in here and hearing the commentary and just kind of having me on in the background. Like I said, I'm not really a good signal service, because for me, a lot of it's feel around my key structure levels. It's easy to see what I'm doing. I try to verbalize and vocalize what I've got going on, so you guys have a better feel of what I'm doing. But overall, just giving you good levels, giving you macro data, giving you all these things to kind of help you just be good company. All right. So if you are around, make sure you come in, comment, say whatever you want to say, have us good conversation. That's what this room is all about. Developing good habits, not doing dumb shit, and keep rocking and rolling. I was gonna say, you oversized on that one, 1250. That's a big loss for you. Normally it's not that big, so good thing you made that correction. I was like, wow, you really wanted that short. Yeah, I got you. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So like I said, overall, good end to the week for me as far as this is concerned. I am gonna maybe flip over if this does end up, sweeping this low. Watch out for this, right, Abby? If this buyer does give up around this 720 to 700 area, it could give you that good flush. Nvidia is trying to break up back above 105 and hold. If it could break over 105 and hold, then potentially rotation to 106.24. And then Microsoft could also rotate back to 408, but it's not really. Microsoft's more in no man's land for me, as far as levels are concerned. It found support here right where it's at like 407 even after hours, and then in pre-market it used that as support. So 407 is sort of acting as that support. But if that seller does, like I said, if the buyer gives up down here with a flush down, does come into play. Nvidia is not breaking above 105. It's kind of just holding here, and now it's trying. If it does give a nice pop, this could give you the long signal to go for it here. Oh, that's the wrong button I clicked. I hate when that VWAP readjusts. There's a number at 9:30 as well. No. I thought somebody said something about 9:30. Level one, it just gives me all of this. So just kind of recapping this non-farm. We are in a good area for interest for longs, but I'm going to kind of maybe hold off for a few minutes because I think that short probably comes in a little bit more. Maybe gives. I want to see something along the lines of if this gives up here, I want to see a sweep of these levels. I want to push down into here and then pop back up, trap some of these shorts and then get them up over this area here. This does make sense for like a failed breakout and then another leg to the downside too. So if Abby was looking for her shorts, that looks like a good manipulation right here to see that momentum to kind of push down with Microsoft and NVIDIA both kind of creeping down a little bit. I'm not going to say you're going to get follow through, but I want to see something like this to form at this key structure level in order to get myself long, right? That's really what I'm thinking, that the buyer is really stepping up at 725. There's size that hits, you can see on the time and sales here, it hits at 725 every time. 725, 725, 725. Short at 734. If you can get through that 25, then you could probably get a nice, 20. You could probably get a nice 40, 50 point snap in this micro. Obviously in the mini as well, but if you could break the 25 buyer and get down through 700, I think you got a 50 point move to just hold, give you that nice little snap down into here, and then potentially we could rotate back up, but it's got to give up. Microsoft and NVIDIA is still holding their lower end. I want to see Microsoft down to 406.18 to get a buy. Microsoft would be a buy at 406, and then NVIDIA it already found its support at 103. If it pushes back over 105 and starts to creep back up, that's when we start to see this thing go. But Microsoft's pulling down, NVIDIA is kind of sitting flat and sideways. So those two things kind of holding together what we're looking at. So if you missed it, you can rewind the stream. I tricked the bull market into thinking that it was going to be bullish with my mask and hop in with good, nice little quick scalp there for you. Yeah, like I said, if you missed it, rewind the video, go check out the trade. The trade of the day happened right here at 8:36 a.m. We got a failure of our break of our overnight high. Yes, this price action was still technically overnight levels, but I was using the pre-non-farm number overnight high as my overnight high, and then we got a nice little failed break of that, right? So go rewind, go check out that 8:36 Central Time, 9:36 Eastern candle, and let me know what you think about if I should continue to do things like that along with my stream. Entry 743. Yeah, go look at the morning trade for sure. It's definitely entertaining, but it's also educational. It shows you why I take that trade. It might not be as easy to understand with the bull mask on, but sometimes you got to trick the markets into thinking you're going to do one thing. I think the heaviness comes here. Your entry 743 again. NVIDIA rejected 105. Microsoft still pushing down towards 407. I think it tries to test 407 again. If it tests 407 again, then this should break. There's the break of the 25. So the 25 buyer broke. See if now the 700 buyer breaks. I want to sweep this to rotate the other direction, right? That would be my trap, but that's also Abby's short idea playing out for her scalp, right? So you could be right on both ends of this trade. If you think about it in a scalpy mentality, you can be right on this breakdown to like the 50s, right? I told you, if you get a snap at 20, you probably get a 50-point move. So 20 down to 80 is 40 points, down to 60, that's 60, that's 60 points right there. I know you're out there. That's excellent. Good sweep of that level. Watch to see if S&Ps will retest that. I want to see so the sweep is now happening, right? Now I'm getting the low breakdown. This was exactly what I talked about here. If you want to rewind and listen to kind of why my analysis makes some sense here, right? Go back a few minutes. The break of this 25, there was a buyer at 25 that kept stepping up, kept stepping up, kept stepping up. Once the buyer at 25 disappeared, you saw a nice, clean flush of that break You got the heaviness, and I said if you break 25, you probably get a 50-point move, and there's your 50-point move, and you're looking at almost 60 points down to this level, right? You got to allow this you have to time it correctly. Look at these names. Look at like NVIDIA. Look at Microsoft. Look at the Mag 7 names to kind of help you time these ideas on are they starting to line up in your favor? Like I said, the first initial snap could be a 50-point move. You're getting more than 50. You're up at 75 points already. So that's a really nice, clean move. I'm going to switch over to the Combine and see if I can capitalize on this move here on the chance that I can pass this Combine today on a bounce play, break back above, right, this key structure level of 700. But I wanted to see a break, a retest, maybe another leg down, and then a snap, right? Maybe snap that level. I'm going to get rid of these because they are no longer valid. This is useful for you to watch for later, so I will leave it. But I want to see this break here, right? This is what we've been seeing. We've been seeing a break of a key structure level, and then either if it's going to continue, it'll keep going. But I talked about how this is going to that 25. You watch for the orders to go. The 25s kept stepping up. Once that 25 buyer got dissipated, a 50-point move seemed like a likely scenario there. And you got more than 50. You're up, like I said, 75 points on that snap to the downside. Sweep of a key structure level. If NVIDIA can get down to 103.60, we could see the bounce hang up there. That's good. I mean, it's good that you're seeing it, right? This is clear momentum to the downside. This is very hard to step in front of as well. With that non-farm number, it was interesting to kind of see that go up initially, but that trap of that overnight high failed overnight high. Now we're going down overnight lows, trying to see if we sweep those. Does it just recover and start to snap back up is what I want to see, up over that 25 mark. Can we get a nice rotation back that direction? I might even just stick with micros for the rest of this Combine. No, I'm going to trade this micro chart, but I'm going to switch it over to NQ. Nah, I'll just leave it alone. It still could technically be a sweep. It's like I said, it could be 50, 60, 70 points. And that was my thought, right? It's going to sweep deeper into here, that 850, 860, 650, 660, right? That's a NASDAQ sweep. NASDAQ is pushing that many points deep and could be considered a failed breakout, right? So this could be a trap of shorts and then a rotation right back up over 25 and you start to get buyers. I think we have to wait till NVIDIA gets down a little bit lower or starts to rotate back the other direction. Microsoft is finding a bid at 406. So this is where you can start to see maybe we start to curl back up because Microsoft's finding that support at 406. So Microsoft here finding that support at 406 quarters. NVIDIA, like I said, I want to see maybe one more push down into that 103 for it to start to catch that bounce. There's a good buyer here at that 103.66. If it doesn't, if this gives up, then the shorts continue and you look for that next area of downside potential that I talked about before. So Microsoft now just broke through 406, so that selling is still there. NVIDIA now catching support at 103.60. So I would like to see this start to rotate back the other direction if it's gonna. Microsoft is still getting heavy. There's a long ways down for Microsoft with the pre-market lows. Pre-market lows are all the way down at 400. So 400 is not out of the question for Microsoft. There is a good bit of room to the downside. Let me check this longer term chart again. I forgot what that level was below. I said a break below 700 usually will probably bring us down to 544. 544. 544 is right here. That's a good area for interest as well. 544.75 from 700. That's the next area where I'm interested in NASDAQ. Finding areas of interest for support. NVIDIA looks like it wants to crack 103. So no support there. Yeah, so we are down a little ways on this short. I mean, realistically, if I could have held this a little bit longer, I don't know how much I could have held through this down at this low. I probably would have tried my best. That last contract, maybe wait for that swing confirmation, leave it here. Just thinking about how to trail out these micros a little bit better for even more profit potential, right? Because, that's another $500, possibly even more on just a single micro contract, right? So the power of micros is there. We are breaking down in NVIDIA a little bit more. 103.40 we're at right now. It's still heavy. Where my executions go? Oh, that's because I'm on that account. I switched over to that combine. They're very similar in profit. I would like to see if I can get one good trade on the combine. See if we can pass it today. Let's see if we can catch a little piece of this bad boy going back to the upside. I think we can do that for sure. If we can get back up over 700, I am going to be starting to be interested in rotational type price action. This is a good area for that initial feeler position on this micro, but I don't like being middle of a range, middle of a zone, so I'm going to wait because that's when we get manipulated, right? We're going to see that manipulation come in. Get Microsoft back up. Microsoft holding below 406.20. The short, like I said for Abby over there, once that 25 buyer gave up here, I drew up this after the fact, but I did draw it up with the drawing tool, but I wanted to kind of keep it clean for you. In a day like today where you failed to break over that non-farm number, the non-farm number is technically a negative number. So what they're looking for here is to try and accumulate as many orders as possible over that kind of algo whip and then start to rotate it back to the downside to find more liquidity to buy up whenever they decide that the price is finally in an area where they're interested, right? So I just use key structure levels and all that fun stuff. And we found that the failed break to the upside led right into that 979, which was my overhead. If it breaks above 979 into 19,000, that's going to be a bullish sign, and we're going to continue to the upside. The fact that we rejected 979 and came back down into the open told me that we were going to be able to short this market and get it to be fully rotational. I was able to capture as much of it as possible with the trail down the VWAP. Now, kind of hindsight being 2020, seeing exactly what we wanted to happen going forward. Yesterday and today, both days were failed upside potential breakouts. We did not accept into that value above, so we started to rotate down. Maybe I'll clip off 2 or whatever, and then just leave that last one at even, because technically if I leave that last one at even, even if I get back $150, the potential here for the risk to reward on that as we trail down now, right? Just thinking through the trailing rules to adjust slightly for these bigger types of moves to catch. If we are going to trade micros more consistently, I'm going to trade the micros with structured trailing stops as far as that final trailing piece. So if I left that last one at even and then trail one through structure. I like that VWAP. I figured that VWAP is going to be a little bit of an area of interest, but there was also the potential that once we swept the bottom of this non-farm number, we could have rotated fully to the high. So I was accepting my risk to reward there being giving back $100, right? So I gave back 100 just to get ticked out, whipped out, and then we rotated now even further to the downside, right? Because once you sweep this low again, then you can say, all right, from even, we made a new low. We can come now down the VWAP and pretty much trail the VWAP all the way through and then see when that comes back to VWAP, right? When does that come back to VWAP? That could allow you to stay in this trade a little bit longer. So always try to adjust your trail to see how much you can get out of it if you are not going to just be into this quick scalp type mentality that we have sometimes. Not every day is going to give you this kind of continuation. Fridays tends to trend. So it caught that trend pretty early. We were able to notice that opening print was going to be kind of manipulative up to that 979. And then the rotation down through 30, that overnight high, that technical pre-overnight high before that non-farm number kind of even coincided with that area, right? So just being able to short through that zone, allow it a little bit of room to breathe, and then we get that nice clean move to the downside. I took the first short just in case it was going to just go right away. Got stopped at even. I got re-entered. I was not afraid to take that chance because it did still give me that proper setup. It even actually further confirmed what I was looking for, right? Because we broke back above it, set my entry below. If we come back down below, we should accept down. So now we have that opportunity to, if we have, let's say I had 5 micros on and I took off 1 at each area, 1 here above, 1 here below. Now I have, 3 more to work with that I can potentially start to trail a little bit more loose. And that's just my opportunity with certain trending days. Hell yeah. Good job, Zuka-san. I appreciate you coming by. I will be on here Monday morning. As always, normal week next week should be normal week. The 9th through the 13th. I don't think there's any holidays, nothing like that. So it should be a full-on trading week next week for us to maximize our gains. And, guys, enjoy your weekend, right? If you are getting off, if you made some money today, lock it out. Go enjoy your weekend. I spend some of my time. I love trading, right? I look forward to Mondays. I love Mondays. I do take Saturday to really not look at any charts or anything, but I do still read books. I still look at, psychology stuff. I get into the weeds a little bit on the weekend. So if that's something that you like to do some learning over the weekend, maybe away from the charts, focus on that psychology, focus on routine, focus on getting yourself better, and then come in to Monday refreshed, ready to go, just to execute. I like this if it does start to push back up, but it could just be a retest and continue down to 544 for that next lower low. I got bowl hair in my mouth. I appreciate everybody coming by. Everybody who doesn't talk, everybody who does talk. I know there's more people in the room than like to say things. You need a mask, dude. You got to get in on the mask thing. You got to trick the markets into thinking that you want to go bullish, and then you fucking smack the short. You smack the short on them. Covers your emotions. Yeah. It's funny. Overall, like I said, up 555 on the funded account today. Purely trading 3 micros. I trailed out at VWAP, got snapped out here. Realistically, I knew I could have probably held to entry with that last final contract and milked this a bit more, but you never know. Hindsight being 2020, this could have easily snapped up and pushed us all the way out, and then we're $150 less. Not that it's a bad thing, right? The risk to reward there for my my thought process was, if it's going to continue down the way it's being heavy, we should probably maybe get a little bit of a snap down here. It tends to like to break through VWAP, retest VWAP, and then either break back through it or come back down. So that's just me pretty much guaranteeing that I was going to get stopped out there. I probably could have just took the whole position off down here if I was thinking in that way, if that's how I wanted to trail. So just kind of reviewing through my trades constantly and thinking, how can you get a little bit better every single trade, even on your best trades, right? Our executions here were pretty much exactly what we wanted. There's really no reason to not capture more of this, but also at the same time, I'm in the business of who cares what happens after I'm out. Now it's time to look for the next one, right? It's all about one good trade. This is a good book that I like to review and I like to have people read. If you are interested in trading, this is a very good, helpful book. One Good Trade by Mike Bellafiore. He runs S&B Capital. It's a prop firm. Just look for that one good trade, then one good trade, then one good trade, and no one trade leads to the next trade, right? As far as emotional, financially, right? Every trade is individual to itself. It has to have its own unique setup, its own unique rules. If it's a valid setup for your previous trade, right? And you're not going to look to this move here, right? If you look at this breakdown, this 725, that's a whole nother trade right here. That's just one good trade. This was one good trade here. Yes, it might have the same thesis of that downside pressure, but realistically, you're looking for new entry criteria for each type of trade. If you have a continuation type strategy, if you have the failed break strategy, everything is its own thing, right? Yesterday is its own day. I've already forgot about yesterday, the day before that, right? It doesn't matter what you do any day before or any second or minute before. It's all about controlling your emotions. Don't do dumb shit. One good trade at a time, and not allowing that, I missed that. I got stopped from my short because I had my stop here and it's going to go long now. So I'm going to go long now, and it's still invalidated because your trade's technically still right. And now you start to play with your emotions because you're just trading one thing because of the other thing. And, we all struggle with that. I can't tell you that I'm not one that doesn't also do that same thing. And when you, like I said, write down the things, the emotions, the feelings that you start to feel, when you start to get that happening, that's when you need to really learn to either walk away, lock out, or do whatever you need to do to recenter yourself. If you want to keep trading that day, it's up to you. Obviously, it's always up to you. That extreme ownership, all of that, you're not here. You guys, I don't think many of you were in the boot camp when I was teaching, but I talked about that extreme ownership on everything that you've done in your life. And if you can't accept that everything that you do in this market is all your fault, everything that goes into your bank, everything's your fault. If you're not aware of your system, if you're not aware of your internet, if you're not aware of the weather, if you're not, your internet may go out, your platform may not work. All of these things are your fault. It doesn't matter. The market does not give a shit about you, right? So at the end of the day, whenever you can take all of the ownership, the extreme ownership, and say, I'm going to take full on accountability for every single thing that I do within this market, then you start to say, okay, if I'm going to be extremely accountable and I'm going to not do dumb shit, if I could pair those things together, then I'm going to say, okay, I'm only going to stick to this setup today. I'm only going to stick to this setup today. Like for me yesterday, I wrote in my journal thing here, right? I wrote that I got wicked out. My entries were correct, but I didn't give it enough room to breathe. So I'm going to scale down tomorrow and widen my stops to build out of my drawdown. So I could have wrote this here and then just stuck to trading one my mini, but I didn't, right? I took the ownership. I took the extreme ownership. I took the accountability, and I said, I'm going to only trade micros today, right? So micros does work. It allows you to do what you want to do, but making that adjustment and sticking to it, right? 400 points from your level at the top. Make levels, people, and follow them. Absolutely. That is 400 points. What are you using for your level? Are you just long term, or are you using the same ones that I'm using as far as, 412 points. If you just took the short from where I took it, right here, and you're still trailing, you're up 1,493 ticks. hourly time frame for your level. I basically use the same. Watch out for this 544 level. This is one of those levels that I talk about for my hourly longer term ranges. This is where price likes to stay within. Yes, it could still flush it. It could still continue on. This is a heavy market. But you can see people starting to hit the bid here on the time and sales. So, this is that 544. My numbers seem to be really obscure, but they seem to work pretty precisely pretty much all the time. That's interesting. They use a line chart to chart, but you trade on candles. It's very cool. Everybody has their own ways. I use a lot of volume stuff when I do go into just deep charting. I also use a lot of fundamental analysis within my charting. So when I am charting these longer term levels, let me go back to this chart here. When I'm charting these white lines, a lot of these white lines and sometimes they're different colors. If they're ever zones or whatever, if I draw up these zones, I usually use 30-minute candles for my levels because it just gives me a little bit more finite detail into my longer term structure. But you can see I didn't draw this 839 level this week. I couldn't tell you when I drew this line. I drew this line probably a month or 2 months back or longer, probably longer ago. So like I said, I use the 30-minute time frame to get more finite detail. But like I said, this 839.50 level I've had charted for a long time, and it found support here, support, bounce. Same thing with this 700 level. I had this drawn up. You can see support here, a good bounce point, 979. What a weird number to have drawn up, right? For me, 970, 975. Look at how close we come to reacting to that level, right? So just becoming really in tune with your market that you actually trade. Stay in tune with the market that you trade. Start to find those levels that are going to be reactive, those zones that are going to be reactive. Look at this. Push right into this key structure level. And where we found resistance is right here at 544, right? Yeah, line chart. Like I said, I like to have these candles in a 30-minute. You could see a lot of what I do. I start to price in. You'll start to see words in here. It's hard to see because there's so many lines. But as I go through this, you'll see these are wider zones I like to draw. I like to have totally priced in with fundamentals. And then I like to, like I said, a lot of my levels come into play because of fundamentals and a lot of PPI numbers, CPI numbers. I start to price in things and I type them into my chart. And that's where I start to get these structure levels. It also includes equities, right? This one here, this note says that Apple earnings is 100 bill buyback. Non-farm was 175 versus 238, so missed, right? A lot of the reasons that I have these structure levels play into fundamentals. So I have a two-tiered system where these levels are not just, completely random, and they do have reaction for certain reasons on certain days, right? And today's that non-farm number. So if I were to price in today's number, even though it's just because of my levels, right? Non-farm miss. If I go here with my arrow and I go NFP miss, and that's it. I'll just go NFP miss. And that's what I want to have on that chart there. So just little notes here and there that helps me a lot. I think that the line chart makes a lot of sense for, it seems like what you're doing, because you're getting really, really good levels, and you're very similar to the levels that I have too. So you're right there with kind of charting wise. I think I talked to Ray, like I said, Mr. Frias in here. I shot him a text last night. I said, if non-farm misses, watch for the sweep of 839 and potentially a push lower into 700 and 544. I actually could pull the text right here. I'm going to pull it and show you on here just so you don't think I'm a crazy person. Here's that little drawing that I did. Here it is. I drew this up, sent it to him there. This was last night at, what time did I? 7:09 p.m. last night. I said non-farm. Going to break down that structure level and push into 700, potentially even deeper into 544. And very, very, it's slightly different sometimes, but there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat in this game. if you are interested in coffee, there's a code on the bottom of my stream. Policing Pips will get you 15% off everything in the Day Trading Coffee Co. store in the shop. All apparel, all shirts, all cups, all mugs, all coffee. It'll get you that, except for on subscriptions, because the subscriptions are already 15% off on their own, so there's no double dipping. Look at this 544 level reacting here. I think that that's going to make a lot of sense for this level here to be reactive. Doesn't mean that it's going to stop here. It just means that there's going to be interested parties into trading this level, right? This is just helping you pick targets, helping you pick zones. Could I have held this all the way through based on my thesis for the day? I could have, just thinking through why I got my idea, how I got my thesis, why I expected X, Y, and Z to happen, and everything kind of lines up, right? So this is a moneymaker type day where you can see, okay, we can limit our risk here, $200 to make, if I would have just kept that single micro on, right? It's hard to say, hindsight's 2020, right? Better trailing rules, you're going to be sitting up 1,529, if it's divided by 10. So, this is more than that per tick. I was up 150 on that one. So let's say, how many points is this? 150 here. I got trailed out there for 150. $300. $450. Yeah, we were looking at another $600 plus on that. 528, right through 528, right through 44, right through 28. Our heaviness, there's no buyers left. So this is what's happening, right? Or there are buyers, and they're just going to keep snapping these. The sellers are like, all right, great. If everybody's going to try and keep picking bottoms, we're going to just sell into it. I think there's a chance that you do still rotate to higher prices. Fridays like to do this up until like 1:30, and then it trends for a bit. Like I said, 12, 1, and then it turns around. Let's see if we can find a Friday that does that. I'm gonna find it on my longer term chart. Tuesday, Friday. This is non-farm day, so it is interesting. So here's this is last Friday. We're gonna test this theory out today. Last Friday, we pushed up, same deal, sold off, down into a key structure level of 398. What time was that? Until 11:30. We found a buyer at 11:30. So we had this whole move down, found a buyer at 11:30. So that's last Friday, right? 11:30, 12, we'll call it. 11:30, 12 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Here's another Friday. We sold off till 11:30. At 11:30, we found structure. We found support right here at 11:30. This is Friday, August 23rd, and you bounced at 11:30. And then let's see, the Friday before that, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. What time was that bounce? A little earlier. So we had a nice sell off into this, 7:30, 9, 8:30. So this sort of trend here, 11:30, pushed up, and you started to get sellers here at 11:30. Didn't pull back as far, but you could see 11:30 is a key time. Let's watch for 11:30 today. See what happens at that time, right? Let's see that Friday before that. Here we are. This is the other previous Friday. This is Friday, August 9th. We bought in till 11:30. This one got up. It was more 12 o'clock before that seller came in and sold into the rest of the day. So 11:30, 12. This was more of an inside type day, a non-decision type day. So there's potential that this didn't. And this is last non-farm. Let's see, last non-farm on Friday. Let's see. Friday. Boom. There's non-farm on that Friday. Sold off at 7:30, 8:30, came in, swept the high, And what time did we find this low? We found this low here around 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. rotated back up. Let's see what happens at 11:30 today. I'm going to mark 11:30 on the chart, 10:30, 11:30. Let's see what happens around this time frame. I'm not going to be on here, so I'm going to mark this area here. See if that's where we get the turnaround. Well, where are you going? You going to the firehouse? Come here. Come say hi. Everyone wants to say hi. Come on. Come on. Come say hi. Come on. You got to say goodbye. You want to put the bull mask on?
No.
No, I don't have it. Say bye-bye. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Say have a good weekend, traders.
Have a good weekend, traders.
Look, you see yourself? There you are. There you are, right there. Whoa, there's a Maximus. All right, bye-bye, buddy. Have fun at the firehouse. I'm in your way. What time are you going to be back? Huh? Okay, you can take my car. If not, then just move my truck. Move my car. I'll move the car. I'll be right back. I'm gonna move the car for the wife to swap cars. I'll be right back. But let's pay attention to that 11:30, 12 o'clock. See if that's gonna be where we find that turnaround. Maybe it'll find support here. We find support right here on this. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna move the car for you. Yeah. nice little bounce, baby. At some point, it's going to turn. There's that 544 level that I was talking about, huh? Seems like my levels make a lot of sense. Except for I'm on the wrong chart for you. Sorry. There's that bounce. And here's the beautiful move off of 544. Watch for resistance at this little overhead area here. Does not mean that it's ready to go the other way. I'm going to leave that circle there just to see if I get any reaction down that low. It could turn at 10. Like I said, some days it turns earlier, some days it turns later. $54.34 on the S&P, you could see clear as day as well. A nice little spot. Level to level, kid. 18.528 quarters for the Joke Man. 544 for me. Overall, levels be working. If you could just stick to your levels and stick to like good risk management, play them all the time, you're just going to have really good opportunities to constantly make a bit of money here and there. And just got to be sticking to your rules. Don't do dumb shit. Good stuff, Jofi. I'm glad that it's good to just kind of note your levels, see where it's reactive, see what's going on. It's all good to just watch, right? If you don't and it's actually really good habit building to just watch and not execute. I think that's even better, right? So you get into the habit of seeing things happen, understanding, getting a better feel for it. I have another hour left in the stream, so I'm going to be here just, for streaming purposes. I do want to try and catch one on the Combine, although I'm already up 550 on the Combine and on the XFA. So, is there anything I really want to force in? Not really. I mean, there's tons of potential here in this market to continue to move and rotate back the other direction. Like I said, on Fridays, we tend to trend for a bit. People take their profits, I guess, and it just starts to rotate the other way. Yeah, I prefer not trading midday at all. It's always when you lose your money. I've been finding some success just after 11 on stream, especially. You guys have seen it. I've tried to stay a little bit longer on those days that I didn't quite get my opportunity early. But this is really, ideally, if I could get this set up day in and day out, this is going to work 80-something% of the time. People are not going to be looking to buy overnight highs. They're going to look to rotate it at least down to VWAP, and I take my strategy every time. I'll take down to VWAP every time. I'll take 555 per account every single day. That's perfect, right? I'm going to take that every single day. It's not going to average out to be that, right? But at the end of the day, you start consistently hitting your levels, start seeing what you're seeing, really understand the dynamics of the market, knowing what the data tells the market, and see what retail is thinking as opposed to what institutions may be thinking. And then you maybe get a better idea of how to time your entries just slightly better. If you could just improve timing is everything. Just improve the timing, because everybody has, good. I think everybody in this room has a really good feel for where price is going to be reactive. The levels are there. It's what you do with your levels. 544, break, retest. Do you get a higher low? NVIDIA sold off from 103.66. Oh, come on. Yeah, so I'm content with my what I've done this week. I've stuck to my strategy completely. I maybe position size early on a little bit too tight. I'm gonna stick with these micros till we build out of the drawdown, and if we can consistently make $500 with micros, there's no reason to switch over to minis. until this account is a little bit more built into the buffer, and start really leveraging the size as we approach, later on, maybe after our first payout even on these XFAs. And I think I could get this second XFA funded and done either today or by Monday. And I'm not trying to force it today, but I think that there is an opportunity to catch another clean, quick move, something like that off of, maybe even right now. I'm just kind of watching Microsoft and NVIDIA. Both seem pretty heavy, and they're kind of, I would need Microsoft to confirm over 403. I would need NVIDIA to try to approach back to 103.66, which it's trying to do now. So maybe it's going to give us that bounce off of 44 here. It's not following any of DEX fundamental patterns, but for us, we know that these levels are magnets. These are macro levels. Yeah, I think when you start to grind back upside, people are going to be like, oh, it's going to go short. It's going to go short. It's going to go short. So this, when you think through the way this is going to move, right? If we do get that 10:30, 11, 11:30 turnaround, later, Jofi, I'm going to finish the sentence. When you get that turnaround, then you're going to say, okay, people are going to be like, oh, this is the bounce to short. Oh, this is the bounce to short. Oh, this is the bounce to short. And they're going to continue to short into this, thinking that you're going to get that full continuation. And that's when the bigger institutional guys are going to just start sucking up orders, sucking up orders, sucking up orders. And that's when you get that slow grind that never really comes back down. And that's why you get that type of price action. It makes sense if you just think of it logically, right? If you think of it the way where people are like, oh, I can definitely get, this is really heavy short. I could continue to get more short on this. Some institutions are potentially doing that. However, how much further downside does it have? We don't know really, right? It could go all the way to zero and we would have no market left. But, thinking through it the way an institution's thinking is all these retail now is seeing how low it's getting. Oh, we got to pop. I could short it. And they're going to start shorting smaller size. And then the bigger players are just going to start bidding up. Yeah, absolutely. There's always a chance. You're saying there's a chance. Later, Jofi. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the Dubai life. Welcome back, Zuki. I knew you couldn't resist staying around. I would approve of you lingering around, having good conversation, talking, listening, but you already said you weren't going to trade more. Don't do dumb shit. Listen to your gut, right? Keep your profits. Don't do dumb shit. I'm just going to be the voice of reason in your head as best I can while I'm still here, and it's up to you to manage your own personal emotions, your own extreme accountability, your own don't do dumb shit lifestyle. Overall, I think, we're going to start seeing slower price action. If we get a really heavy dump, then I would look for that rotation again. But this is just a steady, clean grind to the downside. Non-farm miss. I think markets have all but priced in that rate cut. So maybe now the rate cut gives us an actual true spike, right? Maybe it's selling the rumor by the news type idea. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought we would kind of be pushing all-time highs into the rate cut, and we're going the opposite direction. So market's pricing in that cut negatively. If we get a capitulatory bottom onto that 18th, we'll see what happens. That's September 18th for that rate cut. Yeah, just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, or just do it and pass one. Buy another combine, buy one more, and just pass one. What's it hurt? I'm gonna try some 544 long in the micros on this combine here. If it does give me that next leg up, I want to see what happens with NVIDIA first. This is a nice little pop. I want to see if it'll hold this, make a higher low, start to creep upside. That's true. This is true. When you start to feel like super in a groove where you're just not missing, trade, 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 trade. I would get a combine right then and there because usually that hot streak is when you can pass really quick. Not quick, but consistent. 2-3 days a week. 53.34. That's what I've found with myself, right? Like I'll get into a really cold streak, and then if I start hitting a hot streak, like yesterday, I took this combine up to 2,000, up 1,500 max profit, and then I took a couple overnight trades, made another 500. Feeling like I'm in a good groove, good feel of the market, seeing the executions, right? If I can get back up over this key level here, maybe I buy a couple micros and see what I could do for this combine. This is now a combine idea here to rotate off of 544. It's got to get above it, though. I'm going to go for it. Let's see what happens. On the combine. Willing to risk some. I have not gone over the overnight trade. So it weren't like completely overnight. It was I called the overnight like not New York session hours. So let's see what time that was that I traded on this account. I'll show you them if I can find them. They were on full minis. So let's see. All right. So yesterday it was around 9 o'clock. I was looking for shorts to continue. I just want to make sure I manage this a little bit. Idea here. If we crack through that low, I'm going to be out. So really my overnights were kind of scalpy. I was looking for break retest type trades. So I was looking for a pullback into 18,881. I got it here. I shorted down to the bottom of 860, took 2 off there. Looking for more momentum to trade this short side. So I took another break retest here. And then I took a long on this one on the failed break of the previous day low, trying to rotate back up. So I just scalped that back the other way. It was really some quick scalps. I don't really like too much of the overnight because it's very illiquid. It gets very choppy. Things bounce around a bit more than I like. So that's the reason I kind of just am very quick with what I'm looking at in the overnight session or the pre-market session or after hours or whatever you call it. So we have 3 on. I'll take 1 off here at that level. Microsoft ran right into 403.60 and rejected. Let's see if it'll push up. This is just a feeler trade trying to see if these micros will play out on this XFA, on this combine. We are starting to see some liquidity grabs there. If we can get over this structure here, then maybe I'll go to even, just try and chip away at this combine. Like I said, I'm taking this on just micros for the rest of the day. It seems very choppy there. Seems like it wants to melt again. Microsoft sweep down to 403. If it bounces a bit, then maybe we get up. I'll probably close this if it gets down below that level there, because I don't like the price action on it. If it can get up over this, then I'm safe, but just letting it dance a bit with this 44s. Right, if this level breaches, then we're going to get out. This does seem like a nice hold here of our key structure of 44. I want to see a snap like that one. A buyer came in here before. Why not come in here again? Could that have been an accident? Letting this thing breathe, letting it dance. A little heavy in the Microsoft, a little heavy in NVIDIA. Is there a buyer at 403 for Microsoft, or is it going to sell through this level here? If Microsoft sells through 402.80, then I'm going to get out of this. If it, held that support there. Anything below this swing, I'm going to be out. I'm not willing to risk more than that today. I gave it a shot on it. This was just more of a feeler idea here at 44 from a key structure level. It does seem like it's holding 403 Microsoft. There it goes, a little bit of a bounce for the Microsoft. So hopefully maybe we'll get a bounce in NVIDIA, which could give us a bounce in the NQs. If we get back up over here, I'm going to just cut it at even. Be nice. Or get it to even and then see what happens if it snaps out. Gets up to 60, that'd be nice. This is dancing around a bit. You can see the liquidity kind of playing into this a bit. We are 15 minutes to a euro close. Could be an interesting area for price action to start reacting. I really don't like the way this price is acting. It's going to snap down, snap me out, and then it's going to run out. There it goes. So we did take a little L on that one. I tried to give it a shot at that level. I think it's still very heavy. The market is pretty heavy here. Yeah, I mean, I tried to explain it as best I could. It was just not really a great explanation there. I mean, it was really just snappy. I don't like trading those hours, although I did make some money on it. Not really looking to actively trade those times. You can get a good feel. There's less algo players, I think, more in those after hours. You know, there's not as much manipulation. You can start to see through some of what's going on. Get rid of this because that snapped. You can see as soon as we snapped that low, we were out. So good thing I set that stop there. I'm not taking oversized risks on these accounts. If we do get back up over 44, it could be interesting, but Microsoft just pushed all the way down to 402, but they just caught a nice little bounce on that. I like the way that price reacted. Microsoft from 402.24. If it starts to push back up again, then maybe we start to get involved. Take 2 shots at this level, but it pretty much gonna not do it too much. Like I said, this account here, we're gonna be still trading the micros, still trying to do what we do around our key levels. We are up 555 on the day. And the combine, I just gave back a small loser there. But I still feel like we could definitely get a little bit more out of this if we can just catch a little bit here and there. Charts and data, I'm going to get rid of these because it's just kind of annoying to me to see the executions. If you guys don't trust my executions, I'll always go back. You could always go and review my trades in the video. I keep everything up. All my videos are published. If you want to see them, you can see all of my executions for pretty much the entire year this year on what I've done live. So don't feel like if I don't have the executions on the chart, I'm hiding anything. They distract me when they're on there. I don't hate it. Through 500, nice little key round number. Another level of 18,477, kind of approaching NQ. So for some reason, if I throw up a second NASDAQ chart, it has like a history of saving old stuff. So my normal NASDAQ chart doesn't have all this on here. But this one, for some reason, does, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm not willing to give back my entire day on this idea. There you go. Good work. We rotated through and tapped off on that. Still looks pretty solid here. Yeah, if you're going to be super scalpy and that's what you're looking for, I would just, you got to try and be super quick and tight. Yeah. If you're looking, like, especially with the way you're working, you're looking to go up 2 to 5. Realistically, you could enter a trade that could give you a really quick, big return. So it's hard to set like a hard take profit. But if you're going to be so strict in those rules, set it to be risk 2, make 4, set it to, risk 2 to make 5, and then just take it. I mean, it doesn't hurt, especially the frequency that you're trading. If you're just going to try and be right quick and try and catch it, set that take profit, set those brackets, and just have it be out there. Because when it does break and it does move with the momentum that you're looking for, then it's going to work, and it's going to work quickly. I like it to breach through this, give me a little snappy price action, come up into here, and then go further than that. That's from 50 something points there. What? You can invert your charts. That's wild. I definitely don't want to do that. I think we can pop off this. Microsoft looking like it wants to push back over 403. If it does, then we should get a snappy move here. I think this could be that sweep, that low at 1024. See if 1030 snaps us up. All good today here on Policing Pips live stream. We made $555 here on our express funded account. So another green day, qualifying payout type day. So let's build off that again on Monday. Like I said, I locked out for the day. Not looking to do much more. I am messing around with this combine a bit. We're up 370 on it now. I was up 550 on this as well. Just trying to see which, if we can get a little opportunity here to catch not a huge move, decent little spike, break back above mean reversion type idea from key structure levels that I like to see price react from. You are getting this downtrend to kind of work. If this kind of coincides with this key structure level of 544. Jofi had a 528, so 528 is being that reactive level. So could be if we snap above that, we could get the breakout to come in, right? It's just an area of interest for me to just scale into this, maybe get a little bit of a push. Four minutes here till that euro close. 3 minutes till that euro close. Still just seeing if there's a squeeze in this for just one more quick move, catch a little piece of it. If not, it's going to continue to grind lower. We talked about it earlier. These Fridays tend to trend until 10, 10:30, 11, 12, and then they rotate back the other direction. So if we're kind of working off that bias of does that 10:30, does that 11:30 number, does right around now lead to where the bottom of the day is going to be and push back to the upside? With NVIDIA kind of lingering on lows, Microsoft has found a bounce. If it does break through this 402.25 and push, then you might have further downside to go as well because it is feeling a little heavy. And I talked about that pre-market low spike went all the way down to 400. So there is a chance that 400 does come into play. So 402 might be that number for Microsoft. 402 could be that flush point. But if we can continue to rotate higher in Microsoft, maybe we could get this thing to squeeze for us one more time. I want one like this. That'd be nice. Just like a nice 1 minute candle snap at 10:30 maybe. That'll be the number. Yeah, like I said, I think continuing down until 11:30, 12, totally possible. That's kind of the MO for a Friday. When it gets into a trend, it just keeps going, and it does that turnaround sort of midday. But that's why I drew up that circle down here. Maybe that's potentially the low, even with a pop and a rotate down one more time, right? I'm still considering this the opportunity. There was a lot of interest here. Maybe this now moved us lower. Now you didn't find enough buyers or enough sellers, so working it back the other direction. Could it get all the way down to 447? Totally possible, right? Microsoft breaks 401, breaks 402. See if it does another leg down. This is accumulation, though, right now. 10:30, last minute here. What happens at 10:30? Do we get a spike at 10:30? 500 is a nice round number. Microsoft little tick up. Let's see what happens here. All right, there's that euro close. A little whippy, slight little wiggle in the market there. 512s, 508s, 509s. Still not anything crazy on the movement end. Microsoft did give a little pop to the high side and now is pulling back some. It hasn't quite made it over 403. 403, like I said, I think would be an area where if Microsoft squeezes 403, 403.62 would probably come in. And then maybe we get that little bit of a snap. That's all I would be looking for is at 403. There was a buyer there at 402.66, which we're kind of sitting right on top of right now for Microsoft. So if we can catch that squeeze, that would be a nice little grab. Nothing that I'm looking to go home run on. I'm not looking for a complete rotation the other way yet. It is potentially possible. Although I would like to see maybe we get up into that area there, break, retest, come make new high over this 650, high or low here on this very short time frame. I would like this kind of candle there, explosive kind of move. There's Microsoft popping 403, Microsoft popping 403. 403 for Microsoft just broke to the high side. See if it holds or if it's going to fail. If Microsoft continues up, then we get a snap here in the NQ. Microsoft and Nvidia both curling upside. So watch this push now to the upside. This 20 level is a good entry point. 54.34 is also a good entry point in the S&Ps if you are looking at that area. If we do squeeze 44, then I would like to see this thing continue to run up. Maybe give me, like I said, I'm front running 600 for that first contract to get that first contract off it just shy of 600. This is if that continues to squeeze. If Microsoft does not continue to squeeze, then you're not going to get that move, right? I do like this. I still like it with Microsoft holding over 403. There's a push. It's all about like understanding the dynamics of it and seeing where it's going, historically what it's done and kind of just behaviors of markets. Gonna risk 200 on this. If I give it back, then I'm gonna be pretty much done for the day here if this doesn't go. Microsoft ran right to 403.62 and is rejecting it a bit. So that could be an excellent entry point that I just picked to not get ticked in. If it breaks through this again, then potentially now I will get a true good move. This is just playing my level and also using the equities to my advantage. Let's see if this squeezes now from here from 44. Breakdown, retest, short further potentially. I mean, Microsoft's sitting at 406.60, 403.62. Very good location for my entry to not get triggered in. Kind of just finding that structure point where if it gets through it, it would likely be a buy. So if it does trigger me this time, I would anticipate it to be actually a good true long. I'm not like totally convinced on it. I think we are just heavy today and we could just continue downside and every pop is going to get shorted. And like I said, down into that 47 and finding the low probably closer to 1130 makes sense. But like I said, I was just looking for something. This is really what I was looking for before. I kind of wanted to play it. I wasn't really actively looking for that at 10, but that was a good timing for that, right through that 44 level. I'm pretty comfortable with the returns for the day, just shy of, I don't need to make crazy returns every single day, even in combines. Not in a rush to activate this one. It'd be nice to activate it next week sometime, but it's not, like I said, it's not a rush. Microsoft holding 403, Nvidia holding 102.30. NVIDIA getting heavy again, trying to push through 102. If NVIDIA can crack through 102 down to 101.54, NVIDIA will go potentially, and that will drag us down even further to our 11:30 timing of the bottom, potentially at 44-ish, just kind of continuing this trend to the downside. Very good location for my my entry to show bullishness, right? That's usually what I try to do. I try to find that momentum point where I'll get a break and a snap. The reaction that we had here before kind of just told me that that's where we should be. I'm glad I did not get triggered into this, clearly. If we continue to push lower, I'm going to just cancel these. Flatten all. I don't want to have lingering orders being on this computer, being on while I'm on here, just appearing somewhere randomly. $500 held, 54.34 held, NVIDIA held 102, Microsoft holding 403 for now. All right, we're in that last half hour of stream. If you guys have anything that you want to watch, anything you want to go over, anything you want me to review going into the weekend, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of be here in spirit more so than anything. Not going to be actively trading or calling much out for the rest of this stream. I'm going to be on here just for help and kind of talking through what I see as far as if there's any sort of crazy price action. If I get any news that's popping up, I'll put financial juice up here just to have it. I do like the voice news. Let's see if that helps. Goolsby, when asked about bigger rate cut, look at the dot plots, which didn't show inflation coming down as fast or unemployment rising so high. Overwhelming Fed consensus for multiple cuts.
Average is too low for the replacement rate.
I like that. I like that there's that voice chat, so it'll help. How delayed is this? Nice retest of that 44 level. Clearly still heavy selling coming in. We had a good idea on if it were to squeeze, we want to try and get into it. It did not try to squeeze. We got out with a small loser, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to cut your idea if it does not work for you, right? Chung and Rafa, two guys in the Top Step leaderboard there. One has made $397,000 this year, I guess. And Rafa has made $320,000. So there is plenty of opportunity to make good money in this funded environment and really leverage it and work. If you have a strategy and you are consistent with and you're able to just do things day in and day out, you're going to be very successful. And, just allowing yourself the opportunity to just do it daily, stick to rules. That's all those people do. They stick to rules and they just leverage these accounts. But wow. But I do think you can make that money if you know how the market moves. Absolutely. You could definitely, I mean, that's even not even that big of money. Like a lot of people who trade on their own, reading some of these books like Unknown Market Wizards and stuff like that, you can see they don't want to be known. They're making millions of dollars per trade, and they're losing, a lot, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there's these outlier large size people. But I kind of preached in my boot camp teaching day when I taught. I said most people don't need to make that $1 million mark. They don't need to make some of these crazy high, daily goals. I mean, realistically, you have to kind of give yourself a self-reflection. Give yourself the opportunity to reflect on whether, what dollar amount is going to be life-changing to you. And then just scale yourself one day at a time. You don't have to be there today. Doesn't mean you won't ever get there, and it doesn't mean that you will ever get there if you do have those grand aspirations. But when it comes down to it, if you can just set realistic expectations and not try to force every single cent out of the market, understanding your account size, understanding what is good for you, you can make a very good life doing this for a few hours a day. Right? I stay on here till 11. I was done in 6 minutes. Right? I could have been done trading in 6 minutes today. Done trading 6 minutes yesterday, right? Like if I was not streaming and like finding that I feel like I have a responsibility to you guys to be on here day in and day out, like I could be done trading in the first 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the trading day, 30 minutes, an hour. You don't have to do this 12 hours a day. You got to just be nice.
Tolerance for an upside
nice with it, right?
CPI as long.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime, right? I'm just trying to be here to be useful. Like I said, I don't get paid to do this. It would be nice. I'm trying to make the money off of trading and, be here to be supportive and being helpful. And maybe one day the streams will grow and get to the point where it does pay me back, but I want to just be helpful to as many people as possible. That's really what it comes down to. I think once people realize what is possible, like I just traded three micro contracts and made $500 today. If I were to be fully funded on that level, right, back to where I'm leveraging all of the accounts, if I'm leveraging every single account,
if we maintain this level of
then that's 500 times 5. It's $2,500 a day. It looks good to hold over 500. Yeah, I've been trying to practice adding as well. I did a really good job, not last year, maybe the year before, with adding, and I was very good at structuring into trades. Market conditions changed a bit, and I was not getting as much follow through. So every time I was adding, every place where I added was really where I should have been taking profits. So I adjusted my strategy accordingly, and I've learned to either put my full size on or what I'm going to be trading around that level, and then from that point start to scale out. Just for my personal way to do it, I think adding in is definitely the way to mostly leverage your account. But you really need to you got to find the spot where the momentum's going to continue, where you can add, and then start to shed real quick. Or if you're going to build in at like key structure levels, where like let's say instead of taking profits today, right? If I were to have started with, let's call it one contract here, and then I would have added on the break retest of the previous day low. So I have a second contract here. I would have moved that first stop to even, average price, we're risking above this. So then you add to that. Now you see this wedge pattern forming. If you get a breakdown here, you add on this wedge pattern all within that same trade. So now you're leveraging contract size as the move goes in your direction, and you're just constantly moving your stop to even while compounding your momentum, right? But not a lot of days are trending, so you're going to get stopped out more days than not, and you're going to be wrong more than you're right. You're going to be, when you do the ads and stuff like that, it really decreases your win percentage all the way down to like 20, 30, 40%. So that really kind of stresses you and gets you. But if you can be okay with those losers where you're going to get cut at break even or cut for a loss, the winning trades are absolutely going to outweigh. If you have one really good winner a week, or even one good winner a month, right? Let's say you did all this with one with one mini. One mini, it's $5 per tick, right? $5 per tick. Where am I at here? $5 per tick. From here to here, we've measured out 460 points. So 460 times 20, that'll give you your answer there. 460 times 20. If you just left it with one contract, that's $9,000 for one contract. And now if you're scaling in, every contract you add, you're compounding this gain to be even bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, it's not going to be double and triple this number because your at cost average is lower. But if you start to understand the power of that size, right? So now if you have, just 100 of that or 200 of this, half of this is another 4,500, 4,700, 48, 4,600. That on top, you're looking at a $14,000, $15,000, $16,000 trade as opposed to just a $9,200 trade. Right? I mean, that's a ton of points that you're catching on one move there, but that's just my thought. So I drew this arrow here at that 447 area for an interesting level. The 11:30 time period of when this could be the low. So I drew that circle out to being like kind of where this trend would possibly end and start to rotate the other way. I took one shot at it here. Could have took that shot there. It didn't really make a difference. But overall, like I said, very good trading day. We were done very, very early. I took the short from the high of the day. Hindsight being 2020, really no reason to ever get stopped out. Probably even until 544, right? If you really think through the dynamics of that trade. Obviously, I took off the contracts that I needed to take off to secure the kind of day that I wanted to have, and I'm not getting greedy, and I'm not going to really change my trading strategy at this point. I'm going to let what works work. Yes, eventually I'm going to start to scale in and get bigger and bigger and bigger and start to really extend some of these moves. Then maybe you can start taking parts off here and there, right? So I'm going to show you this. So I could go to executions. I'm probably just done for the day. So if anybody who's kind of strolling in here towards the end of the stream can see that I've locked out. We were short from the dead high of the day right here 2 times. The first time I didn't want to miss it if it was going to just melt off right away. Got stopped for $30, break even basically. Took that break retest entry for that confirmation. Really made this confirmation pretty easy to deal with. Confirmed it, took the short, took one contract off at this level here, right at that wick area for the CPI number. The non-farm number. Took one off there. Took one off down here at the low end of consolidation from CPI, just shedding off as we went down, and then we got stopped here on this candle for the remaining piece at VWAP. So just kind of hindsight being 2020, like I said. Was it worth risking another 150? Obviously, for the rest of this move, clearly it was. If I waited for that break retest of VWAP and start to move down, then I could come to VWAP and use VWAP as a stop. And I'm still in this position. Then you kind of, as you approach these key structure levels, really start to say, all right, is the risk to reward worth being up at VWAP, or is it worth maybe being down a little bit deeper and just milking out as much as possible and probably getting stopped here when this spike came into play, because that's really where the liquidation kind of comes in. So realistically, if you trail this even pretty loose, you should be, even tight, right? If you trail this just over this swing high and then just traded swings and trailed the swings, you were able to kind of milk out this whole entire move to the bottom here. So, that's just up to you how you're going to manage your trails and how, overall things are going to work out for you, depending on your trading strategy and your risk tolerance. So like I said, yeah, I'm done for the day trading. I'm gonna go to work for Friday night. We are sadly at Friday, so there's no trading tomorrow. We're going to be waiting for Monday anxiously, but we're enjoying our weekend. If you are wanting to learn, pick up a book, do something that's maybe different than just charting. Unless you need the charting time, take that break from the charts. Give your eyes, give your brain a break from the charts, but also do your best to still find I have this passion for trading for these markets, and I always am finding myself reading things, looking at things, trying to make myself, that much better over the weekend, every day, just trying little things here and there that are going to make my pieces to the puzzle improve just one little tiny bit every single day, even if it's a losing day, if it's a weekend, right? I've spent so many hours on charts. I kind of not going to get more benefit out of just looking at charts on a weekend, right? What I will benefit from is resting my brain, relieving those charts so I don't see them in my sleep, right? And then, focusing on something that I can improve on the weekend. Read some books, focus on psychology, maybe get some exercise, do things that you think will improve you. I've been trading since 2017, on and off, since 2017. Started in FX because it was the cheapest barrier to entry. It was the easiest thing to kind of get into. Saw the kind of crap that was going on in that FX world pretty early on, so I was really not that interested in staying in FX. I bounced to futures quick, but I didn't quite understand everything about it originally, and I was trading on a retirement account, and I kind of didn't want to do that either, so took some time off, moved state to state to state to state. Got my Series 57 and traded on the prop firm for T3 equities. And really if I would have got on a prop desk that doesn't require a performance binder where you have to actually pay into your account, then I probably would still be with that company. But I was undercapitalized, and I didn't quite get the difference between the equities and the FX world and stuff like that quite yet. Now I get it. Now I understand what I'm looking at, but it takes learning curves, and it takes money to go through those learning curves. And then when I got in, it was right at market change, right from that 2021, 2022, where markets changed and things stopped working the same way that they worked before. So I kind of hit a hard streak there, but you learn every little asset class and every little nuance between them. And then I've come back to futures pretty much exclusively now, especially as these funding companies have just been battling each other with prices, battling each other with, the ability to pull money out of them. And so I've found a niche with Top Step. And so I've been trading since 2017. Like I said, not consistently. It was more of an on and off thing, but I've always been into the charts, into things that, lose money, make some money, lose a bunch, make a bunch, lose, be basically a break-even trader for a while, and then start to really learn how to leverage these prop firms and start to take payouts a little more consistently over the past year. Also, when you think about your lifestyle, it's more that inconsistency in your life also leads into your trading, and trying to do things around certain things that aren't maybe consistent, and then forcing trading to try and be something that it's not at the time that it is, then you're really not going to be successful with it, right? So you need to find that unity between a life balance and a personal, side of everything, where you can
the Canadian dollar weakens
find
to a
things.
2-week low at 1.3568 per US dollar.
Canadians at lows. So I'm going to have that financial juice squawk playing out in the background to just get myself some more news information as it comes to the forefront. I think Financial Juice does a good job with that. It's a free stream. You can get it if you don't want to watch news or have it. You could have it just streaming and playing in the background. So that's what you're hearing if you didn't notice that. And then I also keep Top Step TV in the background in case they're getting issues that pop up. If they do giveaways, if they do anything, I want to give it to you guys so you guys have the opportunity to have that through Top Step as well. So I just want to have a few different things going. So if you hear things talking in the background, this does look a little Look at that level work. You know, we've seen this been drawn on the chart all day. Found that support there at 18,447. Now rotating off that. Could it squeeze back up to 544 possibly? Nvidia found support at 101.50, and Microsoft is trying its best to hold above 402 quarters, but it's kind of struggling with that right now. So I use a confluence of Mag 7 names, news, fundamentals, data, and my longer term structure levels paired with overnight highs, overnight lows, previous day highs and lows. But yeah, so we basically, I mean, I was done trading for the most part here at 8. I got stopped out finally at 8:43. I entered at 8:35. So that was it. I was done at that point during the day. Normally that's when I would like to be done. I would like to be done pretty quick in the day. Most of the time, if I wait for this to kind of set up, it's got to be a little bit longer of a hold, and it's not kind of part of my plan. So limiting those later executions, if they're not setting up perfectly, is going to be beneficial. You know, I could have, this last one that trailed out, I set my stop to VWAP, kind of anticipating to get stopped out at VWAP, knowing what I know about why it kind of does that, kind of pulls back into it. Could have just took the full profit down here at that CPI candle open, right? That's that CPI candle open. If we draw a line right here, that's where I said, this is where we're going to get to and probably find a bounce. And what do you know? That's where we found the bounce. I could have just took all of it off there if I anticipated, like if my thought process, you know, just thinking about how to adjust my trailing stop on that final piece is either just leave it at break even or take the full profit at that structure level, right? Or trail that final piece out to that lower, 82 mark in anticipation if it does break, then the rotation comes in, right? Because knowing what I know kind of about the dynamics of where we're going to get to, if we're going to pull back, this was probably the most likely thing to happen. And I just kind of set myself up to be stopped out there, which is fine. Like I'll take $150, right? To give it maybe that extra little bit of a push to the downside. If I would have saw a bigger flush through that level, maybe I would have trailed a little quicker. I'm scalpy. I'm in and out quick. I'm not looking for all day holds, although I wouldn't hate it, right? If it's going to give me the money, I'll take it. I would like to hold on to it a little longer, but that's just me talking through slight adjustments that I would like to make here and there. So just thinking through your trades, if you are trading and you have kind of things that you may want to adjust, or things that you want to kind of, in hindsight, does this work more often than not, or does this seem to be just an outlier? Are these trend days more outliers? Like we were talking about earlier, Fridays tend to trade till a trend until about 11:30, 11:30, 12 o'clock. That's when you start to see the low come in or the high come in and the rotation back the other way. We reviewed it. If you rewind back in the stream a little bit, we reviewed it. That's why I drew up this circle and this arrow. I said right around this time is when we'll probably find the lows and start to creep back up. Doesn't mean we're going to get a full rotation back to high of the day, which is totally possible. It could. I just said that that's historically this past year, over the last few months, we've gotten a trend, a continuation, and then popping up. You've been doing it for almost a year and a half. You have a system, rules, etc., everything. Really hard to stick to it. It's very difficult. So that's the biggest change that's been like my mindset change over even, like I said, over the last few years has been when you start to just wholeheartedly agree that everything you do is your fault, right? Taking extreme ownership in everything you do from waking up in the morning till going to bed at night, and especially in your trading, right? I used to get it. I fell into the trap of, I got wicked out. They were just hunting my stops. Like I fell for that trap. I fell for the trap of, my internet's slow. I'm not getting good fills. Maybe I need a better data feed. Maybe I need a better broker. Maybe I need a better platform. Instead of taking the responsibility of, I didn't execute properly. Maybe I didn't size correctly. Or maybe not being aware of my surroundings, not being aware that the internet outages are in the area. Maybe noting, like every day I tell you, I click into Top Step, their Discord, to check and see what other traders are experiencing within their platforms, so I know what to expect if there is going to be an issue, or if there has been an issue, or if there is an outage. I check these things before I get on because I've ran into the issue where I don't get filled. So when you start taking the extreme ownership of all the aspects of win, loss, draw, every issue, getting, have outs for everything. If my internet doesn't work, I'm going to look to go to my phone to get out. If I can't get out on my phone, I need to find that emergency out button. Always having stops set in place. Always have a system in place. If you have all those rules, it's just being able to stick to your rules 100% of the time as much as you possibly can, right? There's going to be times where you make some mistakes and you break some rules. Get into the habit of, if I didn't mean to get into this trade, hammer out of it, win, lose, or draw. Don't get into the habit of, I didn't mean to get into it, but let's see what plays out, right? Because you didn't plan that trade. The only way for you to be successful long term is to take that extreme accountability. Don't do dumb shit. Understanding your physical reaction to your emotions and then reacting to that, right? I in my boot camp session, I talked about you can't control your emotions. It's impossible. Your body's going to do what it's going to do. That just is what it is. But you can control how you react to your emotional and physical response. So if you start to feel that tilt come in, you start to feel, I took that loss, but it feels right still, right? But you're getting hot behind the ears. Your hands are getting sweaty. You're getting overwhelmed with emotion. You need to take that step back and find what you need to do to control how you react to that emotional response. Because you're obviously not going to be able to trade clear-minded if you're starting to feel those things, if you're starting to get the nervousness, your legs are starting to shake. Like, are you actually focused? Is it an elevated state of emotion where you're going to be better? Or is it something that's leading to you making emotional decisions not based on setups, not based on rules? So JKD, ML1, I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of a guide into how to really stick into your rules. It's really coming down to self-reflection, constantly being your own worst critic, right? Like, I'll come out here and be on stream because I don't really give a shit what you guys have to say or see or whatever, right? Because I'm totally accountable for what I'm doing, for what I'm personally out here doing. Yes, does it suck to take losses? Absolutely. Do I get down on myself? Absolutely. Everybody does. It's just common human nature. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what Twitter says. It doesn't matter what, somebody's posting on Instagram saying that they made 10, 20, 30, 5,000, even 1,000, $500. If your good day is $100, $200, be happy with that. Understand your situation, trade your own book, and be ready to just be extremely accountable, right? I think that makes the most sense. I hope that makes a lot of sense. If it does, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Just keep coming back, right? If you keep coming back, I'll keep being here. As long as there's people to stream to, I'll be on. Like I said, I'm not getting money for this at the moment, right? I'm just here to really try and provide as much value as possible. And if I could be in your head a little bit, if that's what it's going to take for you to just be like, stupid ass on the stream who wears a bull mask to trick the markets in the beginning of the day, that kind of stupid stuff. If I could get in your head and do that, and then you'd be like, I don't want to do dumb shit. Even if it's just some simple thing like, don't do dumb shit. It reminds you. It just kind of triggers you to be like, all right, take that step back, refocus, recenter, and get yourself in it for the rest of the day. And if that's something that you're struggling with, take your weekends to be that is what you do. Or even set time limits for the day, right? If you could only trade New York session, like regular New York Stock Exchange hours, trade, just be on the charts then, and then don't look at charts at night. Excuse me. Don't look at charts at night. Read a book. Get into your emotional side. Get into writing out some things that you think you need to work on, and then just work on them in the way that you understand. Take personality tests. Really start to understand yourself, understand your family life, understand all that stuff, and then start to apply those principles into your trading routine. All right. With that being said, that's my send-off rant for the weekend. Go into the weekend. Try to make yourself a little bit better this weekend. Come back into Monday. We're going to come back and try and do the same thing Monday. Get into something early. Be done. Get on with our day. If we can't get something early, we're going to stick on here. I'm always on stream, 8:30 to 11. Sunday night, I will be posting my weekly write-up. If you are interested in it, it's always going to be in this education tab. So if you go over to daytradingcoffeeco.com, I will post a link in the chat. You can go into here, subscribe and save. That's for 15% off for your first order if you do that and subscribe to our email list and all that fun stuff. But go into there, check the education tab. I usually post it around like right before midnight Central Time. If you do want to get involved in it, just take a look at it. It will be up, if you get up early Monday morning, it'll be on Monday morning and up and open. So just take a look at that every day. If you do want to get some coffee, use my code at Policing Pips right there, scrolling across the bottom. That'll get you 15% off all of your orders forever. So just don't be afraid to use that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can follow me on Instagram at Policing Pips, Twitter at Policing Pips. Everything's the same. And then also at Day Trading Coffee Co. Once we start getting this stream continuously, getting more and more viewers, I will start to do some giveaways and stuff like that to kind of incentivize the bringing of some friends, family, whoever you want to be in here. If you want to get a new Tradecaster membership, Policing Pips gets you 10% off all memberships as well. Like I said, I post my stream schedule, most of my stuff on Instagram, so head over there, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And until Monday, I will talk to you guys all then. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend.